The Dream That Changed America. The full life story of Martin Luther King Jr., birth of a legend, baby Martin, visual January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia, a baby boy was born who would one day change America forever. His name was Martin Luther King Jr. No one knew this child would become the voice of millions. Childhood in Atlanta. Young Martin smiling. Martin grew up in a world divided by racism. Black Americans were treated unfairly every day. But as a child, Martin still believed people could love each other equally, until reality hit him hard. Love for learning. Martin studying books. Unlike most children his age, Martin loved books. He spent hours reading and learning, because deep inside he knew education was power, and one day his words would shake the world. Inspired by his father, church preaching visual. Martin's father was a pastor. Inside church, young Martin watched people cry, cheer, and feel hope through powerful speeches. That's when he discovered something special, his voice. A voice powerful enough to inspire millions. College graduation. Martin worked hard in school. He studied theology and philosophy. People quickly realized he was different, smart, fearless, and born to lead. Studying theology while studying religion, Martin learned about peace and nonviolence. He admired leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, and he made a life-changing decision. He would fight hate without hate. Becoming a pastor. Martin became a pastor in Montgomery, Alabama. But he wasn't just preaching about faith. He was preparing for something much bigger, a revolution. A deep thinker and leader, Martin understood something many people didn't. Violence creates more violence, but love could transform a nation. That belief became the heart of his movement, working for civil rights as racism grew worse. Martin joined civil rights leaders fighting for equality. They wanted freedom, justice, and dignity for Black Americans. But changing America would not be easy. Rosa Parks arrested. Then came the moment that changed history. A Black woman named Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a bus. She was arrested. The Black community was furious, and they needed a leader. That leader became Martin Luther King Jr. Leading the bus boycott, Martin told people, "We will protest peacefully." Thousands stopped riding buses. People walked miles every single day. Even when they were threatened, they refused to quit. And Martin became the face of the movement. 381 days of protest. For 381 days, the boycott continued. America watched in shock. Black citizens stayed united. And finally, the Supreme Court ended segregation on buses. Martin Luther King Jr. had won his first major battle. Nonviolence and courage. Martin's greatest weapon was not anger, it was courage. Even when people hated him, attacked him, threatened to kill him, he kept preaching peace, because he believed love was stronger than hate. His house was bombed one night. Martin's house was bombed. His family could have died. His supporters became angry and wanted revenge. But Martin stood before them and said, "We must meet hate with love." That moment shocked America. Victory in Montgomery. The boycott victory made Martin famous across America. People saw him as a symbol of hope, a young pastor who challenged an unfair system and won. March on Washington. In 1963, thousands marched with Martin in Washington, D.C. Black and white Americans stood together demanding equality. It became one of the biggest protests in American history. 250,000 people gathered. More than 250,000 people gathered to hear one man speak. The entire world was watching. Then Martin stepped to the microphone, and history changed forever. "I have a dream." Martin delivered the most famous speech of his life. "I have a dream." His words touched millions. He dreamed of a future where children would not be judged by skin color, but by character. And America listened. Nobel Peace Prize. In 1964, Martin Luther King Jr. won the Nobel Peace Prize. At just 35 years old, he became one of the youngest winners ever. But his mission was still not finished. The final tragedy on April 4, 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. He was only 39 years old. America cried. The world mourned. But his dream never died. Today, his words still inspire millions, because Martin Luther King Jr. proved one powerful truth: one voice can change the world forever.